What's up, guys? Coach Vassar. Thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you've been here for a while, also appreciate you for being here. If you find value in them, let me know. Information is in the description to support me. We're gonna break down Thursday, February 6th. This will also repeat on Saturday, February 22nd. We're gonna see power on the treads, power on the rowers, strength on the weight floor. We'll talk about key concepts, break down the 2G with the treads, the rower, weight floor, talk about the 3G as well, and then get you on out of here. For key concepts, on the treads, we're gonna see two blocks. In block one, we're gonna build to an all out. In block two, it's all about your push. Pushes get shorter, which means they get more intense as you work through the block. The rower, it's all about power. Each time you hit the rower, it's a 150-meter all-out row. On the floor, we're gonna use mini bands in block one to prime the muscles. That way you could lift as heavy as possible in block two. All right, so when we look at the treads, block one, 5 minutes, 90-second walk recovery, and then a 17-minute block to close it out. Block one, it looks like 5-minute build. We're gonna start with a 90-second base, 75-second base push, 1 minute push, 45 push all out, 30-second all out. So the efforts will decrease and we're looking to increase the intensity. So for the power walkers, any type of build like this, the way I usually coach it is power walkers, let's add 1 to 3%, maybe also add watts, the speed, joggers and runners, 0.1 to 0.5 or more, and then bump it up. They have the parameters for the power walkers, but really it's more about the feeling of starting at challenging but doable, and then it creeps up, hits that threshold of uncomfortable before it gets very uncomfortable. So truly the all out is a feeling rather than just an intensity as they build their way up. Use that final 30-second all out as a guideline, because keep in mind, they just did 4.5 minutes of work and then a 30-second all out. They're gonna be pretty gassed if they do it right. They have 90 seconds to recover, get back to base, and then we move into block two. Now block two, you have 5 rounds, push, base, all out. That's simple. Now the first one, the push is 90 seconds, base is 45, all out is 45. The only thing that changes from this point onward, walk recoveries get longer, pushes get shorter. Base and all out stay the same. The goal here is we want members to close the gap between their push and their all out. By increasing that push, it's gonna fatigue them more with that short base. It's gonna make that all out feel much more challenging, okay? But they do get a longer walk recovery. So each push will decrease by 15 seconds. So 90, 75, 1 minute, 45, and then a 30-second push. Joggers and runners look to add 0.1 to their push every time. Power walkers, they could add incline. They could also increase walk speed. And then for the bikes and striders, increase in RPMs, increase in gear, whichever one is gonna work for them. They do call out adjust base to maintain the all out, but let's try not to lose that all out speed. Keep it what it was before, hit that every time. Notice how much more challenging it is with that more intense push to start. The walk recoveries will be 45 seconds to begin with, and then a minute, 75 seconds, and then the last walk recovery is 90 seconds before they go into that 5th and final round, okay? That's the tread side. When we look at the weight floor and rower side, block one is just at the weight floor. It is with mini bands. They're gonna go across the middle of the shin. They have the mid band upright row, kind of prime the shoulders. Mini band there is to prime the hips as they drive the knees out slightly. So you want members to have their knees soft. Feet should be about hip to shoulder width apart with the knees slightly bent, driving out against the band. Activate those lateral glutes. They have the upright row and then deadlift. Obviously, before they put the bands on, have them grab the weights they want to use. That way they're not awkwardly waddling around like a penguin around the room grabbing dumbbells, okay? If mid-band deadlifts are uncomfortable, they could take it to the floor and do like a mid-band glute bridge, or even from the bench if you have the benches out, which you should because we are doing bench movements in block two. Now block two is work and rest. There's no more mini bands, but we're gonna see the goblet alternate and transfer squat, a seated hammer curl, step down toe tap as they alternate, a seated shoulder press, lateral shift, and then a 150-meter all-out row. So you're doing 3 different lower body exercises, 2 upper body exercises and the row, which is of course a little bit of everything. For the lower body stuff, it is all alternating. So 6 to 10 total reps, which means only 3 to 5 per side. So definitely aim to go heavy. Hammer curl, shoulder press, it is upper body, so heavy will be subjective. With that seated hammer curl, try to have members glue the elbows at their side and actually lean slightly forward rather than lean back. That way, when they actually do the curl at that top position, they will stay loaded and they're gonna feel a lot more work in the bicep and the forearm. If they lean back, then they're gonna be stacked and it's gonna be weightless at that point. But if they're slightly lean forward, gravity will still try to pull the arm down and they'll feel that engagement of the muscle. Seated shoulder press, core brace as they reach up, back down. They could do neutral grip, they could do an uppercut as options for that one. Alternating step down toe tap. Once again, the idea here is we wanna keep the body weight on the bench. So as a lower one foot, the analogy I use is you're dipping your toe in the swimming pool. So you just wanna barely touch the water, come right back out. We don't wanna fall in, get your hair wet. And then the lateral shift, wider stance as they shift their weight, gallop position to help with balance as they push their butt back. They could shift the weight out to counterbalance them. They have 17 minutes for this one. They'll hit that row, 150 meter all out, maximum effort. They should need to rest when they're done, and then they're gonna repeat. And then their finisher, we're gonna combine the 2 upper body movements. They're gonna do a hammer curl into a shoulder press for the final 45. And that's a 2G. Now, when we look at the 3G, 14.5 minute block on the treads, rower, and the weight floor. Treadmills, it is just the second block from the 2G, so there is no primer. They're gonna go right into a 90-second push, 30 base, 30 all out. And then it follows the same pattern. So they have 5 rounds here. Base and all out are shorter compared to the 2G, but the push will do the same thing. Start at 90, 75, a minute, 45, 30 seconds. Walk recoveries do the same thing. Start at 45, a minute, 75, 90 seconds. Ideally, they take the full walk recoveries and then maximize the time to work when they go into that next push. For the rower, it's gonna be back-to-back sequences. They're gonna have 3 different rounds. Now, round 1 is going to be a med ball exercise and then a 250 meter row, a different med ball exercise, 250 meter row. The next round, they will do that same sequence, but now instead of 250, it's 200. And then the third round is 150. So they're gonna do the row distance twice before it changes. The med ball movements, you're gonna have a single leg low row. So they're balanced on one leg, driving the elbows back, med ball comes towards like the chest and then drop back down, 8 per side. And then the second med ball exercise that they'll do after the first row is a single leg front press. So they're balanced on one leg, med ball at the chest, reach out, come back in. 8 with each leg. Obviously working on balance and coordination here, so it forces them to slow down, which also gives them time to recover from that first row before they do the second one. And then round 2, like I said, they'll do back to the first med ball exercise, 200 meters, second med ball, 200, and then round 3 with the 150. When they finish all 3 rounds, they will row until the finisher, which is a 30 all out. Weight floor, they have 1 long block, and essentially you're gonna combine the 2 blocks from the 2G. So they're gonna do 2 rounds of the mini band work, then they'll go into the work and rest. And it's just 2 upper body and 2 lower body movements. So you have the transfer squat, the hammer curl, the step down toe tap, and the shoulder press. So they actually get rid of the lateral shift in the 3G, but same idea. You'll do 6 to 10 reps, alternated movements for the lower body, so 3 to 5 per side as they alternate. The upper body, 6 to 10 reps, and then the finisher is the hammer curl to shoulder press. Super fun. Opportunity to really get members to be aggressive on the push to make that all out that much more challenging. If you have any questions, as always, reach out to me. Otherwise, you guys got this. Coach it down.